Hello. Oh? It's not showing. There it is. I don't know why this game always takes a second to pop in.
Well, now Discord is hiding it.
Gosh dang it.
Again. Like, the screen on Twitch went black. And then Discord also went black. And then it showed up on Twitch. But it's not showing up on Discord now. And yes, I know you stopped it and restarted it on Discord, and no, it's still not showing up.
I'm going and trying to get it. This game just hates me. Okay, time to... it was there for a second.
Still.
Okay, I'm restarting the
I
game.
saw some flickering.
I'm restarting the game.
I would have said quit Discord and rejoin, but okay.
There, you see it?
Yes, but not on Twitch. Oh, now it's both. Yay!
Just had to do that. Okay. Technical difficulties. Ready to get back into this?
No, but let's do it.
Week 7. I thought we were on week 8.
Nope, I guess not.
Oh, okay. Wait, I'm just gonna... Yeah, we're on week 8.
Oh. Well, then why'd you load week 7?
Ba-da.
Da.
Ba-da.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Alright, so...
We need Grace.
Huh?
We need Grace.
Yes.
Great, so we're practicing dance a lot this week.
Great.
Let's still
Wait,
write...
let me see practice dance again.
It has 2 Grace. And a 1 Grace.
And what's the one that's like double, or not double, but like gain?
Go for
Yes,
it.
that one. Can we do that one for like near the end of the week?
How about we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
What's right in diary?
Belief.
Yeah, I guess that's fine.
Yeah, because we need some more belief. And the chance of getting knowledge is pretty good. Like, with the belief, because we need a bit of knowledge.
We don't need a bit of knowledge, but I guess it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Darn.
Okay. Some patience that we've already maxed out.
Okay.
We've got 1 vigor.
Okay.
And, okay, so we've got 4 wasted patience.
And 4 wasted artistry.
Huh?
And 4 wasted artistry.
Yes.
But we got 2 vigor and 5 grace.
Yeah.
So that's
and
pretty
0
good.
belief.
Well.
We're heathens here. We don't believe.
Wait, what?
Okay, it's just me. I'm a heathen. You believe.
I'm about to say, I'm going to be insulted there. Oh crap, these are both me.
Yes, they are.
Ermengarde, what do you have there? A new book?
The plump girl sighed, showing none of the delight Sarah would have found in such a possession.
My father sent it to me to be enriching. I don't see how books have made me any richer so far. May I see it?
She took the volume from Ermengarde's hands and examined the gold lettering on the cover.
Uh,
It's exactly what it looks like.
Pommes Antiques by the Comte de City?
A Conte de Lisle.
Whatever. A book of French poetry.
Sarah's excitement only deepened the other girl's dismay.
Would you like me to read it with you? I'm certain that if...
What's this? Oh, Sarah, you have a new book? French poetry? Very improving.
Slap the child.
What does she mean by very improving?
Poetry, I guess?
Who describes a book as very improving? I'm like very confused.
I mean, I guess she's saying because, like, it's supposed to be poetry, like, enriching yourself, improving yourself, or some garbage. I don't know.
What kind of 10-year-old talks this way?
One that tries to act like a 20 or 30-year-old rich person.
30-year-olds describe books as very improving.
A rich person? From this era?
A nouveau riche. Trying to act snobby. As long as it isn't one of those shocking new decadent poets, a proper lady should not read such works.
I'm sure it's nothing of the sort.
What would you know about it? I was speaking to Sarah.
Actually, the book belongs to Ermengarde.
What? Don't be silly. She can't even read it. Ermengarde grabbed the book.
It's mine.
She turned and walked away.
You ought not to tease her so.
I didn't say anything that isn't true. What good is a book of French poetry to someone like her? Such a waste. She'll probably never even open it. She should have simply given it to you. Admit it. You know that I am right.
You may be right, but it was a gift from her father. I'm sure she will treasure it.
Not every girl is as devoted to her father as you seem to be, Sarah Crew.
Every time I wanted to be Sarah Craw. Or Caw. Or Crow. Hey, we can use up some sympathy.
Yes, I... Finally.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Next event. Last chance.
Bye, Jessie. Sarah sat at her desk, unmoving. A pen kept poised between her fingers in preparation for the words that had not yet come. You are studying that paper very intently, mademoiselle. Are there secrets written upon it? It was a kindly teasing over the still blank page, but Sarah considered the question seriously.
Not that I can read. And I haven't written any of my own. Not yet. It would be an interesting sort of magic to write words on paper that only some people could see, but it might be even more interesting if you could read words that hadn't been written yet. But then I suppose if you could read them first, you wouldn't be the one that was writing them. Wouldn't that be cool? Huh.
That was a sound Sarah had learned of polite acknowledgement without understanding.
I am preparing to write a letter to my papa. You say, I want it to be just right, so I keep turning the words over and over again in my head. I don't want to send him a page full of blots and scratchings if I change my mind.
I am sure he would love any letter from you, even if it were nothing but scribblings.
Scribble, 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 scribble. It's a pony. Yes, I suppose he would. Still, I want to do my best.
Sarah thought a bit longer and then asked,
Have you written to your family in France, Mariette?
No.
Do you need paper or ink? You could use my desk while I'm out. If you'd like me to leave you some time without interruptions, I could...
Mademoiselle, you should not worry about such things.
I know how it feels to be far from the place you know. You must miss your family very much.
It is perhaps so.
Then...
Mademoiselle, I did not leave ma famille in France. I had already lost them many years ago.
Aww.
Sarah breathed out hard as a sudden pang of sympathy knifed through her breast.
Stab, stab. Stab, stab, stab.
Sympathy stabbing!
Oh, no wonder we had to spend so much sympathy.
We had to make it into a knife. Stab Sarah.
You are an orphan?
Of that, I do not know. Seeing the concern on her mistress's face, Mariette was compelled to explain herself. Mademoiselle, it is very difficult for a woman in service to raise a child. You cannot work with a babe in your arms. My parents left me in the care of a couple who owned a small inn in Limoges. That is where I grew up. My mother visited me as a child when she could. It was not often. Then one day I realized she would not come back. I do not know what happened. There was no word. She only did not return. I believe that she must have died. I do not think she would have abandoned me by choice. If Sarah had been older and Mariette younger, she would have hugged and comforted her, for Sarah was a tender-hearted soul. It was more difficult in this situation to know what to do. Mariette did not seem to be greatly wounded by her loss, only wistful.
I mean, yeah. Perhaps it was so long ago that, as with my own mother, she does not much remember or miss her. Or perhaps it is because she is an adult now, and she thinks that she must be strong. Whatever the case, I think you are right. Your mother must be in heaven now, watching over you. I am certain that she was a kind and loving woman, that she would never forget you.
How do you know this, mademoiselle? She rose from her desk and stood straight.
What? She's not standing at a 45-degree angle?
No. That would be very impressive.
Because you're a kind and loving person who looks after others. You are not my mother, but you are like a mother should be. So, I am sure your mother was just the same. No, that's not how it works.
What?
That is not how it works, at least not always.
And then Mariette did something unusual. For no particular reason, she reached out and laid her hand atop Sarah's little dark head. It felt warm. Merci, mademoiselle.
What was that? Hoping that was fireworks.
Fireworks?
There was a loud bang, and I'm hoping that was fireworks.
Yeah, let's say it was fireworks.
Mariette, are you... Oh, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you.
It's quite all right.
Are you reading? Wait, that book. I've seen it before.
It was the same familiar copy of Poème Antique.
Huh.
Your friend Ermengarde St. John made a gift of it to me.
Aw.
She thought I might appreciate a volume de poésie française to feel more at home.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think of it. Would you like me to buy you more books in French? I don't mind.
No, mademoiselle. I am content. But it was a very kindly thought of Ermengarde's for such a young girl to notice and think of a maid, one who is not in her employ. Many would not.
Ermengarde is very nice. I did not even consider Mariette. I wanted that book for myself, but Ermengarde has seen that the person who would benefit from it most.
Oh, poor Ermengarde.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, time to get some sympathy instead.
Tea parties.
Yes.
What else?
Diary seems good because we still need belief as well. What if we do a 2 tea party, 2 diary, 1 read a book?
Okay. That actually sounds good. Because we also need, yeah. So we also need belief with the sympathy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well then.
Right, we've already maxed it out again.
Oh, there's some more knowledge.
Mm-hmm. And some belief.
Oh, nice.
Again. Great.
And we're full of knowledge.
Great. We've almost maxed everything.
Can we max out everything?
I think we could. Sarah was resting in her room with a book when there came a quiet knock on the door. Sarah, Mama?
What is it, Lottie? Have you come for tea? Hayette has promised us a special treat. Apricot sandwiches.
Oh, yes! No. Sarah, Mama, you like school, don't you?
I don't know.
It wasn't something she had previously spent a great deal of time deciding.
After all, whether I like it or not, I am here now. I don't think I could say that I don't like it. Everyone is kind to me. My rooms are pleasant.
No! I meant school! With books and numbers and remembering things.
Oh, yes. I like books very much.
Can you help me with my lessons? It's hard to pay attention, and then Miss Minchin scolds me. I don't like it when she says my name like that. Miss Lee, I don't like it. But you make everything interesting.
Of course I'll help you with your schoolwork, but you still have to learn it.
Alright. Come to think of it, didn't they say she's like 8 or something?
Yeah, she's not that much younger.
Why does she look like she's like 4?
I don't know.
Hey, look, we can use some of that knowledge we just maxed.
You mean like all of our knowledge?
And then we'll do nothing but read books next time?
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Can I do it? Like, can I just read books all of next week?
In addition to your schoolwork and work?
No, I'll just read books all week.
Nope.
Oh.
I mean, Sarah's stuff is still in addition to her schoolwork. Mademoiselle?
Yes?
Her maid held out a book. It was the copy of Poème Antique, which Ermengarde had gifted to her. I have finished reading this, so I thought that I should offer it to you.
That was quick. It only took a week.
It's poetry.
And?
I've run through an entire book of poems in like a couple hours
I mean, not
in a
like
single night. It's
I,
not that hard.
I, I have never actually sat down and read poetry.
They're short. It's not full pages.
Oh, that is very kind of you. I do have a great many books though, and that one is yours especially. So I don't want to take it away. Yeah, flubbing.
Mariette smiled and shook her head. I did not mean to give it away, mademoiselle. However, I think there is a poem that you'll particularly enjoy. It is called Bhagavat.
Which means
I think that's something Indian. Sarah's eyes widened.
it is an Indian poem?
It is a French poem on the subject of India. I believe the writer may have visited that place himself.
No.
She touched the book reverently, as though a portal to faraway lands might be contained within. Then, thoughtful, she turned away and crawled up onto the bed.
Will you read it to me? It is your book after all, and I think I should like to hear it in your voice, the voice of France.
France has many voices. I will read to you if you wish it, but I am not experienced in dramatic reading. I may not do it justice. It is a very long poem, and my throat will have fatigue.
And then perhaps if you read only a little bit at a time, it could become something we do together every day.
That's kind of cute.
I would like it if you sat on my bed and read it to me. I think it would be nice. It is cute.
All right.
Fine.
Oh, ACG!
Oh.
And so Sarah leaned her head against Mariette's shoulder and listened to that soft French voice speaking of birds with wine-purple wings, monkeys in the vines, and sleeping yellow-bellied tigers.
Oh, I wish I could see it all again. What are the most beautiful things you saw in France? Did you ever visit the opera ballet?
Oh, no, that is not for me. The most beautiful sight in France. For me, it would be the city of Orléans. Orléans? It is not so famous as Paris, but it has much history.
Are you okay?
I am struggling with French accents because I don't usually do them.
This is good practice
Unlike
then.
your roommate, I don't like applying a French accent to everything that's supposed to sound snobby or rich or fancy.
Something is a maid would not fit any of those qualifications.
Yes, I'm just saying I don't practice it.
Yes. But then this is good practice.
For what?
Practicing!
Making fun of French people? That's terrible.
A city, not a chateau or a mountain?
There is a statue of Jeanne d'Arc there. You would like that. It is a reminder of the power of faith and dreams.
Are you very homesick, Mariette? I feel sometimes that it might be selfish of me to keep you here.
Mademoiselle, you should not worry about such things.
But I do worry.
It was my wish to come here. I am content.
You don't want to go home?
Home is not a place that exists for me anymore. And in any fashion, I am happy in this position and do not wish to leave it. I would much rather be the maid of a petite princess like yourself than work in a gentleman's house.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Does that mean that if I return to my papa's house, she'll not accompany me? My papa is a gentleman. I don't know why she would not wish to be in his house, though. It would be wonderful. New week!
Girls, gather round if you please. As the weather is particularly pleasant today, we will be taking carriages to the park for extended riding lessons. Please dress accordingly.
Oh, thank goodness. It's been too long.
I have never greatly cared for horses. It is fashionable, and a lady should know at least the basics, but it is simply not comfortable. Do you ride, Sarah?
I would not truly say that I ride, but I've met horses and been in the saddle once or twice.
Well, I'm sure you'll learn. You learn everything after all.
Slap the child! I do try. I like riding. I wish we could go further than the park, though. It is more pleasant to be on horseback in the countryside. Oh, I agree. It is much lovelier. Imagine being on horseback, galloping across the wild moors, long hair streaming behind you like a warrior queen of old.
Riding astride like some hoyden. Even Boadish rode in a chariot. I think I said that right.
I think I should like a chariot.
Just then, their discussions were interrupted by the sound of a wailing child. Again. Miss Minchin was attempting to bring little Lottie together with the older girls, much to her displeasure.
Hmm.
I won't go! I won't! What a ridiculous noise you are making! Stop that at once!
I won't go. Stop making that noise. Stop speaking.
Shut! You are more than old enough to begin learning. Every student at this school is expected to... I hate horses! I won't! Flinching and covering their ears with their hair, the other girls slipped away to change into riding dress. Only Sarah remained. If you don't behave, you shall be whipped, just as a horse would be.
No!
No!
I am Lottie, apparently.
Yes, apparently. To Sarah's surprise, Lottie suddenly broke free of Miss Minchin and rushed to Sarah, cowering behind her and pressing her wet face into the fabric of Sarah's dress.
Is this more than just a tantrum? Miss Minchin, please, could you let me talk to her alone?
Dear Sarah, you are very kind, but we simply do not have time for these shenanigans.
Oh, but I love me some shenanigans.
You can have other shenanigans, not these shenanigans.
Oh.
If you can make her mind swiftly, then do so, but it must be done. How can Sarah even tell what's the difference between this tantrum and all the other tantrums? It sounds the same.
Yes.
Shaking her head, she walked away. Lottie wiped her grubby hands across her face. Her shrieks had quieted, but her eyes were still little fountain.
Lottie, are you afraid of horses?
Yes.
Well then, no wonder that you're upset.
This cheerful justification startled Lottie enough to leave her frozen in mid-sniffle, mouth hanging open. Sarah nodded and continued.
It is normal to be upset about things that frighten you. Only, I think it is also normal to try and make yourself less frightened, if you can. You wouldn't want to be afraid forever. Horses are very large, but they can also be kind and sweet. Yeah. They like apples and carrots and being petted, just like cats do.
I do not think that most cats care that much for apples and carrots.
But I think the just like cats do is to the petting part, the sentence.
Grammar.
Sucks.
Lottie now seemed more confused than distraught.
Perhaps today you should just go and meet the horses. Then you can come back and play with Tibble.
What if the video won't let me?
Then we shall wait until she's not looking, and while we wait, I will tell you about the horse who rescued a lost prince.
She held out her hand, and after a moment, Lottie took it. A new weekday activity?
She can use her free time to help the younger students with their schoolwork by choosing the tutoring option.
Ooh, does that increase our knowledge even more?
We gain knowledge equal to patience, gain patience equal to knowledge, or gain 2 patience and 2 knowledge.
Great, so we'll start off reading a book and then do some tutoring.
We don't need...
Huh?
We don't need patience, though.
True.
Like,
well,
it would be better to read... What?
We don't need artistry either. We could probably keep one writing diary.
Yeah. Let's...
Should we also...
Let's practice...
Huh?
I would say let's practice dance. Because we need a grace and we need more vigor.
What else was there for vigor? Let's go for a walk.
Go for a walk, you have a small chance. It would be like playing with toys has a better chance. Which can give us more belief.
But it's a small chance.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's save.
There we go.
Do you like our naming convention for these saves?
Stream 1, Stream 2, Stream 3.
Yep.
Yep. Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Alright, well, we're maxing belief then. Great. I'm kind of inclined to retry that.
I am too. I'm gonna do it.
This is why I told you to save. You should just always quick save before we roll.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Wait.
No, wait, it didn't save.
Wait, this isn't even the right activities.
Interesting. Okay, we did dance.
Yeah, I think this is it. Okay, 1.
Okay.
3. All right, we're already doing better.
Okay.
Got that one again. Useless.
Okay.
All right. We got all of our knowledge back.
Well, and we're 1 grace off and 2 vigor off.
Yeah. We got all of our knowledge back and maxed out belief.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Much better.
Yeah.
When Sarah came down the stairs, she found Jessie holding a most curious item. It resembled a long wooden spoon, though somewhat thicker in the shaft and with a solid round end instead of a bowl.
What are you doing with that?
Jessie turned the object over in her hands. This is also you.
Oh. I keep forgetting I voice her?
You remembered when there were all 4 of the girls of this age.
But I don't, like,
Remember, the only girl of Sarah's age that I voice is the snobby, racist one. All of the other little girls are you, and then I'm the baby.
And I got to do my terrible girl voices.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sarah, isn't it interesting? It's from India.
Well, it's not like there's really any guy voices, so...
There's one! In the letters.
Yes.
I know. I heard there are societies for gentlemen and ladies, separate of course, where they all have wooden clubs like these and swing them to strengthen their arms. Or even throw them at each other. Isn't that quaint? Are you sure they throw them at each other? In India, the jugglers throw them up into the air and catch them again.
Yes, that's what juggling is.
Yes. Oh, I don't know.
She looked at the solid wooden shape she held, then up at Miss Minchin's painted ceiling.
Break it. Perhaps I ought not to try that. Where did you get it from? Lavinia gave it to me.
For a moment, she cradled the club in her arms as if it were a doll.
Gay.
How's that gay?
No, she's gay.
Well, yes, but where's that relevant?
She's on screen.
Okay.
She wouldn't tell me anything about it, though. She told me to take it if I was so interested, and she would say nothing more.
Honestly, I hope that Jessie grows out of being gay for Lavinia and becomes gay for someone else, because Lavinia's an asshole.
Yes.
Jessie let the length dangle down from her hand and swung it gently back and forth.
It doesn't seem like such hard work.
Her eyes glinted for a moment with strange emotion.
No. Imagine the blow if you struck a man with this. Whoa there! Whoa! Imagine if I hit a guy.
With this blunt object.
What? Why? Oh, it was a foolish thought. Nothing more. I was thinking of chariots and queens. We are not soldiers and have no need to defend ourselves. There are brave men for that job. Like my papa. Yes. You are lucky to have such a father.
Sarah smiled, pleased to accept any compliments for her beloved papa, and thought no more of it.
Week 15.
Oh no.
We could just skip.
Huh?
We could just skip.
We could just talk to Ermengarde a lot.
Yeah. Well, there goes all the belief.
That's only like half.
No, this is half.
Okay, it's one more than half. 60%. That's not all. Ermengarde sat contentedly on the floor of Sarah's room, listening to her read from one of her storybooks.
And then he offered to take her away to his father's court, where he would make her his bride. The maiden adored the prince, whose company had charmed her for so many hours, but she could not bear to leave her sisters without first telling them farewell. Wait. They've known each other for hours?
No. They've known each other for a while, but spent many hours together.
Still. So soon. She bade the prince... What?
We were playing Cinders earlier.
And
that is a case where they've known each other for less than an hour.
Yeah. So soon! She bade the prince to leave and return again the next day to the place in the woods where they had met.
Sarah did not read the words exactly as they were written, but put her own little touches upon the story to make it turn out the way that she preferred. It was not quite the same as telling her own stories, but Ermengarde still seemed nervous at the ideas of stories that had not come from books at all. It was a first step.
Once he had gone, she rushed back to her home to take up her work at the wheel, planning to spin twice as fast to cover for her absence. But when she sat down at the wheel, she was dismayed to find that her magic gold thread had lost all its brightness. Her heart beat fast, and she wept bitterly, for she remembered her mother's warning and knew not what misfortune might now befall her. She was so afraid that she would be punished for what she had done that she ran away without telling anyone what had happened, not even her beloved sisters. She ran through the woods looking for her prince, but he was on horseback and long since gone. And while she ran, she did not watch where she was going, and so she tripped over a root and fell into a rushing river, disappearing into the swift current. Thus the misfortune was complete.
What a grim, depressing changing of a classic fairy tale. What a dark child. And then the princess drowned.
The end. She drowned? Not quite.
Sarah continued her story, how the maiden was transformed into a golden water lily who sang in her sorrow, and how she was at last restored to life by the love of her sisters. Ermengarde sighed in contentment.
When I hear stories in your voice, I can almost see them happen, but you are much better than books. Blech. I can almost see them happen. You're much better than books. But what about the prince? Didn't he marry her in the end? He rode over the bridge by the river and heard her singing, but he didn't do anything to save her.
Men are useless. Great.
It was her sisters who loved her enough to look for her when she was lost. Ouch! Ouch!
Are you a useless prince?
I'm a man who you just called useless.
Do you disagree with me?
Not 100%. Maybe 80% disagree.
Wow, a whole 80%? You think that 80% of men would do something to save her?
No.
What percentage of men do you think would have saved this maiden?
Probably like 0.1% at most.
Okay, then you actually agree with me 99.9%.
I always thought princes were always heroes. Anyone can be a hero in the right circumstances. I don't think I could.
Ermengarde looked around Sarah's room, decorated as it was with the best of at least 3 countries: dependable England, refined France, and exotic India, because we size anything that's not Western, I guess.
Ugh. Do you miss being in India, Sarah? Yes, of course. It was my home and I was happy there. I had my house and my pets and my forget how to pronounce that. And the skies were never foggy and gray like they are here in London. I love living there. Again, I am sorry for anyone who knows the correct pronunciation of that word, as I am butchering it. But I love it most of all because it is where my papa will be.
Ermengarde saw Sarah's face suddenly change. A cloud seemed to pass over it and put out the light in her shining eyes.
Is she dead?
Yes. She drew her breath in so sharply that it made a funny, sad little sound, and she shut her lips and held them tightly closed, as if she was determined either to do or not to do something.
Have you a opinion?
There was a moment of silence, in which Ermengarde worried that she might have spoken out of turn. But at last, Sarah answered.
Yes, but it is not in my body.
Her voice was low and somewhat unsteady.
Do you love your father more than anything else in all the whole world?
Ermengarde's mouth fell open a little. She knew that it would not be correct for a respectable child at a select seminary to say that she did not adore her father, could not even imagine being even so much as fond of him.
What's being fond of your parents like?
I think Ermengarde is asking the same thing.
I scarcely ever see him.
In fact, she did her very best to avoid being left alone in his company for more than a few minutes. It was not a proper feeling for a daughter, perhaps, and it was clearly not something that Sarah would understand. Ermengarde was, indeed, greatly embarrassed.
He is always in the library reading things.
There was a wealth of information in that statement, if Sarah had been inclined to decipher it, but she was too preoccupied with her own feelings.
She is young.
Yeah.
She is young. I love mine more than all the world 10 times over. That is what my pain is. He has gone away.
She put her head quietly down on her little huddled-up knees and sat very still for a few minutes. Ermengarde had an idea that if she had been like any other little girl, Sarah might have suddenly burst out sobbing and crying. But she did not. Her short, black locks tumbled about her ears. Then she spoke without lifting her head. By the way, do you hear all of the airplane stuff happening behind me?
Yeah!
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a thing all week, I think.
When isn't there a thing?
On the days that we stream and there's relative silence behind me.
So some days.
Sometimes.
I promised him I would bear it, and I will. You have to bear things. But there's no bears here.
There's a tiger on her floor. Although I don't see it here.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Papa is a soldier, and think what soldiers bear. If there was a war, he would have to bear marching and thirstiness and perhaps deep wounds. And he would never say a word, not one word. I think he would say one word. Ow.
Ermengarde could only gaze at Sarah, but she felt that she was beginning to adore her. She was so wonderful and different from anyone else. Presently, Sarah lifted her face and shook back her black locks with a queer little smile.
If I go on talking and talking, I shall bear it better. You don't forget, but you bear it better. I will talk to you as much as you like, if it helps you.
Once again, Miss Minchin prepared to lead her students back from church to the safe confines of the seminary. However, it so happened that on this Sunday, she caught sight of someone with whom she had business to conduct. Keep together now, girls. Fall in line and wait here. Lavinia, dear, I am counting on you to maintain order. I will be only a few minutes. Yes, Miss Minchin. As Miss Minchin walked away, Lavinia raised her chin with pride. She did not notice the conversations going on around her. Look, Sarah, Mama! Why is that tower so high?
That is where they keep the church bells. They lift them up high so that they can be heard from far away.
Scroll, 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 scroll.
And scrolled. There's a man who lives up there, the tower keeper. It is his job to watch over the bells and keep them clean and ready to ring.
He lives there? He never comes down? Sarah did not know how the tower keeper spent his days, but she had heard of wise men in India who kept vigils, and of Christian stylites who lived atop pillars.
Sure?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
What's a stylite?
I don't know! I've never heard the word before.
Maybe it's a Catholic thing.
Here's an answer. It's called Google.
It's called I Don't Care.
Yep, it's a Catholic thing.
Kind of assumed that if it's a Christian thing and it's some special term that you're not familiar with, it's probably a Catholic thing.
Yeah, that's a very fair assumption. No, never. The priests bring him food and water, so that he never has to look down. He tends the bells and he thinks about God. Because he's so high up in the sky, sometimes, if he is very lucky, the clouds part and he can almost catch a glimpse of the land beyond.
The shining city and the fields of lilies? At this point, Lavinia noticed the two of them standing with their necks craned back. Sarah Crew, whatever are you doing? You are gawking like foreigners! Sarah and Lottie lowered their heads, though not, in Lottie's case, without protest.
Uh-oh.
We are looking up at heaven! everyone gathers. And they watch over us and whisper to us, and they visit the man in the bell tower. Sarah told me. You wicked thing, making up fairy stories about heaven.
You don't know what heaven's like. There are much more splendid stories in Revelation. How do you know mine are fairy stories? Burn, small child! Ouch!
Is that accurate?
Yeah! Revelation is like end of the world, what happens after, and they do actually have some stories, like some scenes that are based in heaven.
Okay.
Very interesting read, in my opinion, but ouch!
You're lying! You didn't get that story from the Bible.
Read it for yourself. Streets of gold and gates of pearl, and many more things beside. Yeah. Perhaps the lilies are my own invention, and perhaps they aren't, but I can never tell you. You will never find out whether they are or not if you're not kinder to people than you are now.
Oof.
Oh!
She just told Lavinia she's going to hell.
Oh my gosh!
And look, her face is completely like no malice or anything. She's just straight up like, well, you're going to hell, so how would you know?
But it was kind of just like, maybe I made them up. I don't know. Maybe it's a true story.
Maybe I made it up. Maybe it's true. I don't know. Neither do you, because you're never going there if you're not nicer to people.
Ouch!
Oof.
Oh.
What? But Sarah, perhaps feeling a bit ashamed of her bursts of unheavenly temper, turned her head and refused to respond.
Good reaction. Okay, let me quick do a save. So
Okay.
we need
Belief and belief and belief.
diaries,
Great.
dance.
Base. Yeah.
Do you want to just do another dance?
I'd almost rather say to write in diary again.
Okay.
Because chances are we're not going to get all 6 from just those 3.
And watch we do, and we waste a day.
Whatever. We saved.
1. Okay.
See?
Oh.
There's our wasted day.
Yeah. There's all of our grace with no vigor. Ouch!
Okay.
Tempted
Should we retry?
Yeah. Ow.
You're like, maybe we will. Didn't even get like... We only got halfway.
Ready?
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. Got that one again. And a waste again.
Okay.
Alright, we're doing better than last time already. Ooh,
That's better.
that's exactly what we needed for that. Okay. That's not bad at all.
No, we're missing 1 belief and 1 vigor. That's not bad.
We're otherwise completely mad.
Okay, but like, I would love it if we could just somehow max everything.
We could if you really wanted to scum it, but you know, that sounds like a lot of effort.
It is.
Sarah had been out in the town buying a new book, and as she rode in the comfortable carriage back to Miss Minchin's school, her mind was filling up with stories and histories. Quite unconsciously, she descended the carriage steps with the grace of a queen, looking much grander than she might have imagined, if she were the sort of girl to think in great detail about how she looked. As Sarah crossed the pavement, she caught sight of a dingy little figure. Dingy? Dingy?
Dingy.
Dingy little figure down on the servants' area steps. A girl with a soot-smudged face, peering up at her with wide eyes.
Is this a sixth person?
Probably.
It's the girl from the title screen.
Yep.
Do you want to voice her so you have 2 small children? ...
Something in the eagerness and timidity of that smudgy face made Sarah look back. And when she looked, she smiled, because it was her way to smile at people. The eyes went even wider, as if afraid that she ought not to have been caught looking at a pupil of importance. The maid, if that was what she was, turned and scurried back into the kitchen, vanishing as quickly as a reverse jack-in-the-box.
Poor little forlorn thing. I wonder who she is. Not available yet.
Yes. Well, we haven't properly met her.
Yes. Time to use up our patience.
Finally. This time, it was Sarah who was curled up near a window when Ermengarde found her.
Oh, Sarah, I wanted to ask you something, if you're not busy.
Sarah raised her head and smiled.
Only Ermengarde would realize that I might be busy when I am sitting and thinking. That is a form of busyness.
Sort of.
You can always ask me things.
She paused, then added.
I can't always answer, though. I might not know. Well, is it true that Miss Minchin has you to tea with visitors just so that you can speak French for them? Oh, well, I don't know if that is the only reason. I often do not say very much, and she still keeps me there for the rest of it. Some of her visitors are not very interested in French at all. Some of them prefer poetry, or want to tell me how they themselves saw India once upon a time. But sometimes, yes, Miss Minchin has guests who speak French and wishes me to converse with them. You really can speak it then? Not just a few words or a sentence you memorize?
Ermengarde's respectful tone made Sarah feel a bit off balance. She tucked up her feet, sat with her hands clasped around her knees.
I can speak it because I have heard it all my life. You could speak it too if you had always heard it. That's... for her upbringing.
Sort of true. I mean, I heard my parents speaking Chinese all my life, but that doesn't mean I can speak it back. But I can't understand them, so.
Oh no, I couldn't. I could never speak it. Why not?
Ermengarde shook her head so that the pigtails wobbled.
Wobble wobble, wobble wobble.
Wobble, 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 wobble.
Why is that in my head now?
Hmm?
That stupid duck song.
Waddle?
Yes.
Waddle, waddle, waddle. Till the very next day. Bum, 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 bum.
I blame you for that.
Waddle, waddle, waddle.
Because you're the one who showed that to me.
Till the very next day. Bum, 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 bum.
You have heard me before. I'm always like that. I just can't say the words. They're so queer. Okay. I dare say that little French girls think the same things about English, if they try to learn the language for the first time. But if you had heard it as a child... But I did. My father, he speaks 7 languages, or maybe 8. I forget. I forget everything. I always have.
Oh.
I mean, she also, like, it sucks. I feel bad for her. Can I hug her?
Yes,
Slap
just
Lavinia,
reach
hug
into your
Ermengarde.
screen and give her a hug.
Slap Lavinia, hug Ermengarde.
Yes.
My father never forgets. He has libraries with thousands of volumes in them, and he knows every one of them by heart. Okay, that's a little childhood imagination, I guess. That'd be a
I don't
lot
know.
of...
She said he has libraries with thousands of volumes, and he knows every one of them. Does that mean he knows every one of the library volumes? Maybe he just knows all of the titles in all of the libraries, but he hasn't actually read any of them.
He says that when I was very young, he used to speak to me in different languages every day because he hoped that I would learn them all. But it only made me cry.
That sounds incredibly confusing. Like, it's not enough to just speak to someone in a different language every day.
Yep. My nurse made him stop because she was afraid that he would confuse me so much I'd give up talking altogether. Yeah, like, if you just kept hearing different one every day, like, how would you know what to speak?
Well, not to mention, like, part of what helps you pick up a language is hearing it spoken in conversation around you, not just being spoken to in other languages. So, like, if you don't have that full immersion, it just...
Her dad screwed up.
Confusing. Especially as, like, a baby when you're still learning, like, what's what.
Yeah. I heard it from her that he says I am a severe trial because he is so very clever and I am notably and unmistakably dull. I'm the monumental dunce of the school. Ow! This hurts! I can't speak French. I can't recite poems without flubbing the words. My handwriting is too big and lumpy. I can't calculate quickly. I can't keep my king straight. I'm not good at anything.
It sounded like she was good at writing.
But her handwriting is too big and lumpy for a proper lady.
No, I said riding, like horses.
But you are clever, aren't you, Sarah?
The question was asked with a touch of awe in her voice. It made Sarah feel slightly odd to be the subject of such open admiration. Sarah looked out of the window in the dingy square, where the sparrows were hopping and twittering on the wet iron railings and the sooty branches of the trees, and reflected a few moments. Why are the tree branches sooty?
Shh. I don't know, maybe it's an England thing in this time period? Oh. People have often said that I'm clever, but am I? And if I am, then how did I come to be that way? I don't know. I can't tell. I think you are. I think you're wonderful. Now is she crushing on us?
Yes. I mean, this is a dating sim, I think, right?
I don't know, is it?
I think? Ermengarde did not know why a lump came into her throat. Her eyes felt as if tears were in them.
Lavinia and Jessie are best friends. I wish we could be best friends. You're clever, and I'm the stupidest child in the school. But I do so like you. I'm glad of that. It makes you thankful when you are liked.
She stood up from the window and took Ermengarde's hands in hers.
Yes, we'll be friends. The very best of friends. And I'll tell you what else.
A sudden gleam lit her face.
I can help you with your French lessons. You can try.
The weather was warm and fine, the skies of London unusually clear. As such, Miss Minchin had decided that the proper Sunday outing for her girls was a long walk through parks and gardens. Keep up, keep together. A lady's help is also an important accomplishment.
Look at Lottie!
As usual. Also, why do Lavinia and Jessie look vaguely like they're being bird done?
Because maybe they are.
They're the ones with parasols!
The birds are clever.
I don't know why the birds would poop on Jessie, though. I know why they would poop on Lavinia, but why Jessie?
Because she's crushing on Lavinia and so close to her.
While the temperature outside was not so great in itself, the ceaseless beating of sunlight upon little heads slowly made their Sunday dresses a difficult burden to bear. This is abominable! My complexion will be ruined! I may have to write to my father and complain.
About what, the weather?
About being forced to walk around the parks, I guess. She adjusted the position of the parasol on her shoulder and sighed. No proper young lady should be forced to drudge about on foot like this. Is that not why we have a...
Miss Minchin said that horses should have a day of rest on Sundays.
As if a horse would know or care what day it is. I deserve a carriage. It is the due of my rank. Lavinia was not the only girl complaining about the walk. Sarah, Mama! I'm tired!
Everyone is tired.
Sarah, Mama, won't you carry me?
You have to walk for yourself. You're too big for me to carry for long.
Besides, it would be undignified. Our Sarah may be many things, but she is not a horse.
Did your Lottie just voice fuse with that?
Huh?
That sounded a little bit higher pitched than normal Lavinia.
I don't know what the fuck voice I use for Lavinia. Sometimes it goes higher and sometimes it's lower, and it's just always bitchy. Lottie's even higher, though. Lottie's like squeaky. Yeah. Perhaps you should ask Ermengarde. Oh my god, slap this child.
Wait, what? Oh. Lavinia.
What did I say? I was only pointing out that she seems to be handling this walk better than Lottie is. Sarah looked at her friend. Sure enough, though Ermengarde's cheeks were as flushed as anyone else's, she appeared to be walking steadily along without slowing or complaining.
Aren't you tired and hot? Yes. I always feel tired and hot when we walk back from church, so I'm used to it. But this walk is so much longer. It always seems the same to me. Ermengarde has great endurance. It is a virtue. A soldier must have great endurance and be able to carry on through much more difficult circumstances than this. A soldier might have to walk miles in the sun in uniform and carry a heavy pack besides, and be ready to fight when he arrived. Our lives are so much easier, but we must be good soldiers as best as we can. If Ermengarde can bear it, then I can bear it.
If Jessie can bear it, then I shall have to bear it.
Slap the child! What's that supposed to mean?
What did you mean?
Nothing.
I don't want to bear it. I want someone to carry me. You have legs.
Well,
You use them the same as we are. I don't want to.
no one is
Fuck
gonna.
both of them.
What?
Why did I end up with like the worst characters?
Because you agreed to it. No one is gonna carry you, so if you don't walk, you'll be left here all alone. And then it will get dark. The tigers will come out and eat you up. There aren't any tigers in London. You wanted to make things up like that. Well, she likes it when Sarah makes things up. Sarah's not making things up that creatures will come out and eat Lottie.
Sarah spoke quickly to head off the threat of Lottie deciding to cry and fuss.
We will all have tea later in my rooms, and I will tell you stories. But first, we must return to the school, which means we must walk.
Lottie sighed and carried on. All right, time for patience.
Oh, but I'm not patient. So writing in the diary. No.
Diary writing and tutoring? Although that doesn't really...
What's that? Oh. Okay.
Okay, so we'll do one more week.
Yeah, this would be the last one.
Wait, what's writing diary again?
Belief and knowledge, artistry, belief and sympathy, or patience.
What else gives patience? Is it just...
Practicing dance gives a little bit of patience.
Maybe.
Maybe. Going through law has a maybe patience. And tutoring has some maybe patience.
And there's writing diary has maybe patience.
So basically...
But more patience of maybe. Wait, let me see the tutoring one again. Okay, so how about this?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, we also need belief and vigor.
We also need one belief and one vigor. Which this would give a belief. This can give a belief. This could give a vigor.
Would give vigor. Okay.
So what are you thinking?
Well, practice dance has a, what, 2/3 chance of giving us a vigor?
No.
1/3.
The same amount of patience as a vigor chance.
Was there a different one for vigor? Is that it?
We could go with playing with toys.
That's 2.
Let's do play with toys here.
Yeah. And then...
It also has a chance of belief.
I kind of want to say the last day should be tutoring.
Okay.
But, like, save. Well, you already saved.
I already saved. Do you want to change anything else?
That seems good to me.
Okay.
Oh, now we get all the belief.
There's some patience.
2 patience.
There's the vigor.
Vigor.
2 knowledge.
Which we don't need. Should we retry?
I want to.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The belief we needed.
Okay.
I think we should retry. We should definitely retry that. Can you load while it's doing this?
No.
Damn. Alright. Utterly useless. Patience, patience. This is so sad.
Hey!
And so we have the same result as the first time.
Do you want to do one more, or do we want to accept this?
I want to keep trying until we get at least 3 or 4 patients.
There?
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah! Alright.
Now we're not getting the vigor.
Well, that's fine. We're still at 9 for vigor. Oh, now we've maxed out our patience. I will accept that.
Ah!
You're not happy about it, but I would accept that. The greatest power Sarah possessed was her power of telling stories and of making everything she talked about seem like a story, whether it was one or not. It was that power which Lavinia and certain other girls were most envious of, and at the same time most fascinated by, in spite of themselves. And it was in service of that power that so many of Miss Minchin's gathered in jewel box rooms, seating themselves on chairs or cushions or rugs to listen.
The princess sat on the white rocks beside the lagoon with a shining white lily in her hands. And as she turned it this way and that, she watched its reflection dance across the water below. The waters of the lagoon lay still, crystal clear and green as glass. But the princess could only see her flower in the reflection, and never herself. So she looked, and she looked, until at last she saw a face in the waters. Not her face, but the face of a merman.
Sarah went on to tell of the courtship between the princess and the merman prince, and the girls who listened sighed sweetly and leaned their cheeks against their hands, or each other. As they listened, the door to the room swung silently open, and that same dirty figure Sarah had glimpsed before crept into the room, carrying a heavy coal box. The maid was cleaner than she had been on that day, but seemed just as frightened. She hunched by the fire, afraid even to look at the other children or appear to be listening. She put on pieces of coal cautiously with her fingers so that she might make no disturbing noise, and she swept about the fire irons very softly. But Sarah saw that she was doing her work slowly in the hope of here and there, and realizing this, she raised her voice and spoke more clearly. Alright, you gotta raise your voice and speak more clearly.
The princess took her seat in the great clear bubble carriage, and a team of 6 seahorses pulled her into the ocean, their harnesses woven with pearls. Down into the sea they dove. At first, the water grew dark, and the princess was afraid, but then, far below, fluttering and rippling through the depths, there shone a light. Better?
The small drudge before the grate swept the hearth once, then swept it again, and finally forgot to play at sweeping at all. The brush hung idly from her fingers as Sarah described winding grottos beneath the sea, paved with silver sand and lit by glowing sea stars. It was the choirs of mermaids singing that proved her undoing. The forgotten brush slipped from her fingers to clatter against the hearth and drew Lavinia's attention.
Uh-oh.
What? That girl has been listening. Culprit snatched up her brush and scrambled to her feet. She grabbed the coal box and simply scuttled out of the room like a frightened insect fleeing for cover.
I knew she was listening. Why shouldn't she? She isn't one of us, Sarah. It isn't proper to talk with servants. Unless they are upper servants like your Mariette. That's all right. I wasn't talking with her. I was telling a story.
I do not know whether your papa would like you to tell stories to servant girls, but I know my papa wouldn't like me to do it.
My papa? I don't believe he would mind in the least. He knows that stories belong to everybody.
Nothing belongs to everybody. If it did, they'd all have to fight over it, because I am also a capitalistic shill.
Only loyal Ermengarde took Sarah's side.
I think Sarah should tell stories to whomever she wants to tell them. You wouldn't think it wrong if she's told stories to Tybalt, would you? I should think it rather odd if she were telling stories to a cat.
Oh, please, Sarah, Mama, finish the story!
Sarah looked at the room full of eager, upturned faces. No one wished to follow and harass the fleeing maid, but no one wished to go and invite her back again either. She would continue her fairy story, but she would not forget.
Do we stop here or do we finish this?
I think we can do this one.
Okay. Artistry and grace.
I would almost say that we can do this one and then do the next activity selection until we get back to this screen. Because I think that this screen makes more sense to pick up next time anyway.
Maybe. We'll see how long this goes, because...
True.
I mean, I also should probably get food.
Yes, you should.
As I ate at, like, 1. And
Yes, you should.
So, like, we'll see.
We'll see. Sarah and Ermengarde walked through the halls of Miss Minchin's together, hand in hand.
Dancing lessons.
She sighed noisily, her shoulders rising and falling.
I wish that being hopeless at books meant that I was good at something else instead. My father wouldn't be happy if I were only good at dancing. But at least Miss Minchin wouldn't look at me so disapprovingly. But it is only something else for me to fail at. I feel so heavy and graceless compared to the other girls. She is heavier than the other girls, but she isn't graceless. I think you move very well. You are always in time to the music. Lavinia isn't.
Oof.
But I don't look right when I move my arms, and the dance masters always frown at me. Hey, at least you have rhythm.
Yes, that's the point.
Jessie is the best of us. She looks like a flower in the breeze. Like a gloriosa lily,
Mm-hmm.
because its petals are long and red and wavy, like her hair. What?
Hmm?
Ah, thought you were going to say something.
Nope.
They tell us we should try to move like a field of celandines? Celandines?
Probably Celandine.
I never feel like a celandine. I know what a celandine looks like, and I'm not one.
She kind of looks like one.
Oh?
I mean, it's a little yellow flower
Okay.
with big green leaves, it looks like. I'll send you a picture.
Okay. Anyway, read your line.
They reached Sarah's room and took seats upon the bed.
What is a celandine? I don't think we had them in India.
There, I sent you a picture.
Yeah! Oh, a little yellow flower. That's the lesser celandine.
See, I feel like her color palette is inspired by that type of flower, maybe.
Maybe. They're not very tall, but the flowers are very bright, with lots of yellow petals like this.
She held up her hands, curling her fingers around.
They come up early in the spring. They grow in great bunches in the woods, all over the ground. Mostly the leaves, but with little bright dots of flowers. The other kind is taller. Their flowers are yellow too, bright yellow, but they only have 4 petals.
I guess that's the kind I sent.
Yes. I may have seen those. I'm not sure. What flowers grow wild in India? Oh, many kinds. Tall spikes covered with purple orchids that nod down. Flowers with petals pink as lips that grow straight up from the ground with no stems. I don't know all their names. I wish you could have brought some with you. If I had picked flowers in India before I left, they would have died and fallen apart on the ship.
Ermengarde hung her head.
I'm sorry. It was a stupid idea. No! I wish I could have brought you flowers to see as well. Perhaps someday I'll learn to draw and paint with watercolors. Then I could make pictures of flowers so that I could bring them to show you. Can you draw? I don't know. What'd you just say? Say it a little louder for those in the back.
She held out her hands in front of her, examining the stubby fingers and their short, blunt nails.
I wouldn't expect that I can. Your hands are so delicate, Sarah. That's the way a lady's hand should be. That's the way a lady's hands should be.
Sarah pressed her palm against Ermengarde's. Her fingers seemed almost the same length, but more narrow.
Well, Emily's fingers are much rounder and shorter than yours, and she is still a lady. Your hands are stronger than mine, and I am sure there are many things your hands can do that mine can't. But you can do everything.
Sarah's eyes took on a mischievous glint.
Only magic could do everything. Imagine what I could do with this school if I really could do everything.
Looking at the hearth in her room, Sarah was reminded of the little servant she had seen before. In truth, she had looked for the girl earlier, but had been unable to spot such a person anywhere in the school. If not for the disagreement with her listeners, Sarah might have thought she had imagined her. Sarah understood that it would cause disruption if she barged into the kitchen to ask questions. She had only one bridge to rely on.
Mariette, who is that little girl who makes the fires?
Ah, Mademoiselle Sarah. You might well ask that poor little one. She has just recently been taken on as a scullery maid, though scullery is the least of it. She is sent to do every task that no one else wants.
Oh.
She blacks the boots and grates, she carries the coal scuttles up and down stairs, she scrubs the floors and the windows. She's Cinderella.
Hmm.
I think she has not had enough to eat for years. She is older than her height would tell, and so timid. If I try to speak to her, her little eyes pop right out of her head.
What is her name?
I hear that called often enough. Becky do this, Becky do that. Everyone below stairs orders her about.
Oh. Becky. If life were a story, Becky might be the ill-used heroine, and perhaps a fairy godmother might come to her rescue.
You have a kind heart, mademoiselle. Your papa would be proud. Now stand up straight. Let me have a look at you.
Alright. Alright?
Just as I thought. You are growing taller.
I am?
No, as a 10-year-old, her growth is now completely stunted and again.
I mean, is that what happened to you?
Fuck off.
I'm sorry. That was mean.
I'm taller than when I was 10.
That was mean. I'm sorry.
I am about the same height I was when I was 14. Sarah looked down at herself.
I don't feel any different. How much have I changed since I've been here?
You are at that age, after all. I will have to alter a few things.
How tall I will grow before I see my papa again. We might want to stop just to that. Especially because we might be scumming.
Let's scum to our stats and then stop, maybe.
Okay.
I just feel like it feels awkward to start on this screen the past couple times.
What do we want to do?
Well, we need artistry and grace, right?
Artistry
maybe-
grace.
Conveniently.
Practice dance twice. Playing with toys actually would be smart.
Wait, why twice?
What do you want to do?
What was tea party again? That's not good enough.
No. Well, playing with
I feel
toys
like
would
we
be
should practice dance a third time, maybe.
playing with toys would be good because we either get a vigor in artistry, a vigor, or we'll gain a lot of artistry.
What else gives artistry and grace? Anything?
Nope. Oh, well, tea party, but
I feel like we should just practice dance again.
go.
Did you save?
Saved before.
Okay. Artistry grace, great, we maxed it out. We more than maxed it out.
Yeah!
Alright, you can finally be happy.
Yeah!
Great.
Woo!
We've maxed everything. Let's save. We're done. That's probably a good spot to save.
Woo!
We did it. We finally maxed everything.
I'm happy!
Wow, you're happy for once.
Oh, shut up. Okay. Thanks for watching. We'll be back
Thanks, bye.
Wednesday? Wednesday?
I think they had something on Wednesday, maybe.
Okay.
They do have something on Wednesday. Tuesday?
Tuesday or Thursday? I mean, Tuesday works for me.
I'm trying to remember if I had anything.
We'll update it.
Actually,
What?
technically I'm on calls. Well, no. Sort of. I'm sort of on call. But I feel like Tuesday's better.
Okay. We'll be back Tuesday.
But if something comes up, I'll change it to Thursday.
Yep. Okay. Bye.
Bye.